I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. And this is This Week
in Recruiting.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at Next Level D1. See his fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting. And of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, it's not just a sponsor, it's a way of life for Greg Powers. I mentioned this on the show yesterday, but we had a barbecue. We had to get together as a staff to celebrate the magazine being done. And, you know, as you do, you make it kind of a potluck type thing. Everybody brings something, you know, we go off in the food. I was grilling and stuff. And so, you know, you had pasta salad. You had some people bring cookies. And Greg Powers rolls up. I'm not kidding. Rolls up with a box of chicken tenders and a box of rolls and like a container of mashed potatoes and a container of gravy from Chicken Express. And let me tell you who won the barbecue. It's Greg Powers.
Chicken Express, it's not only a sponsor, it's family, you know, and when you were having a family event, you know, you gotta include your family. So
I love it.
Extended, yeah.
It was the kind of thing like you walked up with it and I was like, Powers, you diabolical, you genius.
All fairness, my wife's idea.
Oh, that's smart to give credit.
She's dialed in with DCTF and Chicken Express enough to know that bringing Chicken Express to the DCTF barbecue on brand.
Oh, and you want to talk because that was the first time your wife had met a couple of the people here.
Right.
You want to talk about a way to win fast friends, you know? You roll up with some tendies, and it was the mix too, by the way. Sorry, we'll get off the Chicken Express remote, but you brought she was smart enough to bring the half regular and half spicy. That was great. All right, okay. It's This Week in Recruiting. A lot to get to in the recruiting world. We're going to start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise is Katy Peto's 2023 outside linebacker, Damian Sanford. Damian Sanford picked up a pair of offers this week, one from TCU and one from Texas A&M. He's now got 20 offers overall, a couple of official visits on the books here. Of course, he was a key part of Peto's run to the state championship last year, but Damian Sanford, the outside linebacker from Peto, starting to pick up a little bit of momentum in the recruiting world.
Big momentum too, to have two huge in-state offers come in. TCU kind of got the ball rolling about 1 week ago now, 6 or 7 days ago, and then a couple days ago Texas A&M followed up. If you watch that state championship game, you quickly realize that Katy Peto had a pretty good defense, and that was the reason why, you know, they advanced all the way to the state championship, and of course they end up taking home the title. But he was a guy that played on the edge, put his hand in the dirt a little bit, sometimes could also stand up and play some true outside linebacker, a very versatile weapon, really quick downhill, gets after the quarterback, makes a lot of plays, and he's super athletic. Texas A&M was his 20th offer. It's not a surprise to see him have 20 offers on his list because he's, you know, one of the state's top tier defensive prospects. But what was a surprise, I think, was that some of these big in-state schools hadn't really stepped up yet. And you can quickly see that he has 2 out-of-state official visits to Duke and Vanderbilt already scheduled. Now we'll have to, you know, kind of kick back and see, can the Horned Frogs and Aggies now be in that top school mix? I think yes. But one thing to keep an eye on is the 2 places he has official visits scheduled to, high-end academic institutions. So Sanford not only brings it on the field, he's a guy who brings it off the field as well. And, you know, just because we're talking about Peto, some big news, you know, as it relates to that high school this week is they added a player, Jara Anderson, from Cy Park, who transferred over. And that's going to be a huge addition for that program as they look to sustain success as they moved up in classification. That's right. They did move up. Is that true, Steph?
Yeah, they're moving up to 6A. They were the 5A Division I state champions. Get the move up to 6A. We're going to see how they. I mean that Katy versus Peto game is going to be. Mark calendars for that one. That one could be a lot of fun. All right, let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week is Austin Vandegrift's offensive tackle Ian Reed. Excuse me, soon to be a senior. He has committed this week to Clemson. He had offers from all over as a DCTF 4-star, the number 19 prospect in the DCTF Hot 100. But the Clemson Tigers get the services of Ian Reed, the big-time offensive tackle out of Austin Vandegrift. You know, it's interesting. Clemson's very selective within the state of Texas, and it does seem like, and maybe this is just me being short-sighted here, but between Cade Klubnik, who is a high-profile prospect in the Austin area, and now Ian Reed, a high-profile prospect in the Austin area, kind of seems like they have a type.
Yeah, and they lost a commitment, a few weeks ago from Reed McKeska, but Stay Hot in the Lone Star State with a commitment from Ian Reed, specifically Austin. You touched on that. And Texas has seemed to have done a really good job recruiting in-state offensive linemen as they go back to last year. They landed Kelvin Banks. They landed Devon Campbell from Arlington Bowie. But Ian Reed is one of the top tier O-line in this class. So this is a kind of probably a setback for the Texas Longhorns as it relates to in-state O-line recruiting, but such a huge pickup for Clemson, who not only does a good job of getting great football players, I think they do a really good job of getting high-end character guys. When they recruit the Lone Star State, they are coming after guys who check all the boxes. And I think that's what is unique about Clemson's approach as it relates to recruiting Texas. They come after guys who can really make a difference. And we'll have to see. I think Cade Klubnik has a chance to play this year. I mean, that's what everybody's saying. He had a great spring game, and he's one of those guys who people really pay attention to. Did his recruitment have anything to do directly with Ian Reed? I think that there probably was some eye-opening when Klubnik committed to Clemson, and that may have played a little bit of a role with Reed's decision to go to Clemson, but they do a pretty good job of developing guys for the NFL and competing for national championships. So Clemson's one of those top programs, one of those top programs in the country. So Ian Reed is going to off to play and compete at the highest level. So congrats to Ian Reed and congrats to Clemson for getting one of the Lone Star State's best.
Yeah, big get there for Clemson getting Ian Reed out of Austin Vandergrift. This is This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Let's go to our underclassmen of the week, and let's talk about the week that Fort Bend Hightower's wide receiver Zion Kearney had. So Zion Kearney entered the week as I think a nice prospect. He's soon to be a junior there at Fort Bend Hightower. The wide receiver had offers from Houston, North Texas, SMU, Indiana, and Louisiana Tech. Before your junior year, pretty darn good to have 5 offers, including a handful of Power 5 offers, or a couple there in Indiana, Houston, big time offers there. So then he goes to camp at TCU and he runs a 4.2840. Okay. Good week. If you stop there, it's a good week for Zion Kearney. Instead, he ends up picking up offers from TCU, Arizona State, Washington, Tulsa, Minnesota, Texas Southern, Texas A&M, Colorado, Texas Tech, and Missouri this week. 10 offers this week. Have yourself a week, Zion Kearney.
And thanks to the coaches at Fort Bend Hightower who put me on to Zion Kearney. I think it's, towards the middle of last season. They've had some pretty good talent at Hightower in recent years, but I got a text from recruiting coordinator Sammy Scott over there that said, "Hey, Greg, you might want to pay attention to this Zion Kearney kid. He's going to be, the next big thing here." And of course, they have Jeremy Payne as well, top tier running back that's already got big offers. But a 6'3", 190-pounder that clocked in at a 4.38 hand time. Was it 4.28 or 4.38? Anyway, he's fast.
Says 4.28. You wrote down 4.28, and I don't think you lie.
Yeah, 4.28 40-yard dash is what was documented by our good friend Jeremy Clark over at 247 Sports TCU site, who was at the camp. And no surprise, 6'3", 190, you can move like that you're going to blow up with offers. And wow, I mean, sky's the limit for this kid. And I just am thankful that we were on him early, and he's been able to make all of our lists. Spoiler alert, he's going to be on some more.
Yeah, Zion Kearney, a name to know out of Fort Bend Hightower. If you don't know it now, now is the time to get on the bandwagon because everyone else is, it seems like. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Denton Ryan's soon-to-be senior running back, Khalid Hicks. And here's a guy who has offers from all over. He's the number 4 running back in the state in the DCTF Hot 100. He's a 4-star prospect. This is a guy who now announced his top 5 this week. And it's an interesting top 5. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami, and TCU. That is a bit of an eclectic mix for the services of one of the very best running backs in the state.
Yeah, I think his official visits are going to be fun, right? Like he's going to be able to go around and see some of the, not only some of the top programs in the country, but like historically some of the top programs too. He only has one visit scheduled now to Oklahoma. I guess when you evaluate like the geographical landscape of recruiting Denton and OU, that may be the hometown school in a way. It's probably the closest big school to Denton. It's outside of the it's outside of the Lone Star State's borders across the Red River, but Oklahoma State continuously do a really good job in the Denton area. As a matter of fact, Jackson Arnold from Denton Guyer is already verbally committed to Oklahoma, and I'm sure that he's burning up the phone wires to try to get his friend over there at Denton Ryan to join him on OU's commitment list. Texas generally does a great job with Denton Ryan as well, but you'll see Longhorn's not involved in this recruitment whatsoever. So his top 5 already came out and he's already made the cut, and watch what they do. Don't necessarily listen to what they say. He's got one official visit scheduled. I think that OU might be sitting in a good spot here, but I will point out Alabama did get the ball rolling on his big national offer list. They were the first like premier program to step up and give him a shot to play in college. But he's already got a teammate committed at TCU as well. So there's a lot of moving parts with Khalid Hicks as top 5.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch where he goes. He is Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Invite him to his barbecue. He'll bring you Chicken Express. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Powers, appreciate your time, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks. See you then.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.